What's
Well, I
going
was
on?
waiting for the Long Island propaganda to stop before I hit record.
We're done. We'll stop with it. Just
Dude,
start
that
the
was
show.
great propaganda, bro. That was great.
Jay, I'm sorry you don't like Long Island, Mister. I
Don't
grew
hate
up
on
there.
Strong Island, bro.
Yeah,
I grew up
Well,
in Long Island. It's fine.
What part?
Port Jeff.
Oh, well, that's why. Marc,
Yeah.
obviously, we now have our answer.
Port Jefferson's a very nice area too.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. It's a beautiful area.
It's
Yeah,
good for an
Yeah,
afternoon, you know.
Jay, you just need to go through the period of sort of discovery and self-actualization that I just did.
Did you
just
want
throw
like a
all your
vision
troubles
quest?
away and just like kick it for a few weeks and just like go hiking and stuff. Like that's what you need.
Did you
which is
do
very
like
easy to
Jay,
do.
peyote
you
and
say-
get lost in the woods of Long Island?
Jay,
That's
you
a legit
say
fear
can
my
I?
dad has, by the way.
Can you say can I kick it, Jay? And Long Island says you can. Jay, you know Jay's moving to Westchester. Peter.
No, really?
Yes, Jay's abandoning Long Island.
Dude.
He said Westchester. He just likes it better. I don't know.
Bro, that's I take that as an insult to my most strongly held geographic affinities. Why would you go to Westchester, man?
Jobs.
Jobs?
I mean,
Yeah. New York City doesn't have a
lot.
lot of jobs. He's going to Westchester.
well, I mean, Long Island is not exactly like, a big job hub.
Doesn't it not matter like where anyone like lives anymore?
It shouldn't,
like-
but every interview I go on, everyone's like, "Oh, when we get back to the office, so I can't move out to Long Island and end up with a 2.5 hour commute."
There is like a class of person who deserves literally like the dullest guillotine that we have. That's like the weird, like, I can't wait to get back to the office and get back to normal. Like I miss in-person meetings.
Ugh.
That's a person who's like, hey, is your camera broken? Like on like Zoom meetings and stuff.
Every meeting.
There's that type of person who also is like weirdly like pro corporate. Like, and it doesn't matter where you work. Like if you work in a company, like you have encountered this person. Like it might even be the same person who's like an immortal soul, just moving from organization to organization to like make life miserable for all of us. But like that person, I hate that person so much.
We have Zoom meetings and everyone has the camera on, and if somebody doesn't have the camera on, the person will stop the meeting, ask the person to turn on the camera, and then follow that up immediately with, cameras are optional though. I'm like, you literally just stopped a 20-person meeting to call this person out. I'm pretty sure it's not optional.
But dude, you at this point, I mean, like I've been in meetings where I've unfortunately had to be on camera with like large groups of people because I'm presenting or talking or something. And, like plenty of other people are off camera, and I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit, but there are certain people like the one you described. But in my meetings, I've heard people be like, hey, I'm sorry, like I'm off camera. I'm getting like a low bandwidth message. Sorry. Or like, my battery's about to die, or like my laptop's whatever disconnected, or like, oh, I have construction crews in the background. People use all types of excuses. You gotta just, play some roulette, man. Just like
Jay,
bust out
throw
the low
down.
bandwidth.
Jay, you got to be saying, listen to me. If I'm going to go on camera, I'm pulling a tube in. You guys don't like that. Keep me off camera.
You guys, you don't realize how crazy, like, I mean, I'm sure you do actually, but like this whole thing is completely just like totally like fucking up everything about like work, which was already shitty. It will be much shittier. So like a job like Jay's, which might have had, X amount of FaceTime in the normal like world, right, has now been made into like hyper FaceTime. Like it's super FaceTime because he's not in front of them. Like his boss can't do a drive-by or whatever. He's like at home.
Peter, we have a phone call, Peter.
Sure.
This is one of your coworkers is calling right now. Hey, Peter. Oh my God. I'm so happy. Could you turn your camera on, Peter? I really want to see. It'll be so great when we're back in the office 5 days a week. Maybe we should go on Saturday and Sunday. Wouldn't it be amazing when we're back in the office, Peter?
No.
Peter, can you leave your camera on at night so I can watch you sleep?
That, sure. Yeah. That we could work with. But the first one.
I'll be working anyway.
Peter, you were out of camera for 10 minutes, then I heard a toilet flush. What happened?
Oh my God. So, I mean, it's turned like corporate jobs which had a little bit of like FaceTime flexibility into like clock in, clock out, like barista. Not, I'm not disparaging barista jobs, but like, you know
But
what I
you are
mean? Like,
go on. The barista,
no,
most of the baristas have taken their trip to Europe. They're all in Europe right now. Go on.
Let's actually
yeah,
not do that. Baristas are a very big part of our listener demographic.
no, but it's not a disparaging
I'd like
thing.
to
I'm
be a
saying,
barista. Wouldn't you like to get enough money where you could just your job really is a
dude,
barista?
I
That
mean,
I'd be very happy.
compared to
Like
my
coach
job,
Jay,
yeah.
barista.
Jay, when you went to Japan, did you happen to like go to any Starbucks?
Yes.
And please, I know exactly where your head is at. So I will like, please describe the experience of a Japanese Starbucks, like ordering and getting a drink and the drink itself.
I mean, everything in Japan is super efficient. So like the
Yeah.
line moves, the way you do the orders quick, you get your drink quick. Like everything is like they've figured out like storefronts and commerce like perfectly.
So I have a question. So if
And the
you
drink is good. The drink is like perfect. Like
Japan is the
everything is
type of
just,
place where like the food looks like the picture.
so I have a
yeah.
question. In Japan, as far as efficiency, let's say you go get a massage. Are the happy endings really efficient? Also, they're like get in, get out. You're like that was the fastest. That was a pretty good happy ending.
They put a clock, like a stopwatch on the bed, so you know at all times how much time you have.
Then you're like,
Mhm.
no, I'm not going to come that fast. Yeah, I came that fast. Well, good job there. I leave it. Okay, then you took the tip out of my wallet already. Sounds good. Okay, I'll see you later.
The
Back to the Zoom meetings. My cat jumps on my lap a lot while I'm
Yeah.
working, and so if we have a meeting, I'll just angle the camera down so all you see is a cat in my monitor instead of me. And
oh, that's nice.
it's good because it draws the attention away instead of like shitting on me. Everyone's like, "Oh, a cat, cute," and then they like forget what they were calling about to begin with.
I
Okay,
think
I'm gonna
Jay.
give.
I
I'm
think
gonna.
Jay is just to jump in 1 second. I think when Jay quits his job, he'll quit his job by just having a picture of a dead cat up there, and just until people are like, Jay, what's that? No, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna leave this picture of a dead cat up here.
Um, that would be that'd be sad.
One of the
Um,
managers' cats died, and we had this one coworker. This is back when we were in the office, who had never said a word to this manager for like 2 straight years.
Yeah.
And I told him to stick his head in her office and say, "Sucks about your dead cat," and then just walk away. A guy who's like never talked to her ever. I thought it would have been the funniest
oh
thing.
my God.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he did that. Oh, that would have been amazing.
No, we were dying at the thought of that though. Like, who the hell was that? And how does he know about
Oh
my
my
dead
God.
cat? Yeah, it's funny though because every office has the same personalities. Like like
Yeah.
the gung ho work person. I got emails on Saturday night this morning. I was looking and somebody was
On
working all
Saturday
weekend.
night, like what are they telling you on Saturday night that's so vital?
My coworker called this manager out saying, "Oh, send her emails at 11 o'clock on Saturday night," and she's like, "My kids went to bed. What else am I supposed to do?"
I don't know. Watch something on Netflix and leave me the fuck alone.
Literally anything. Yeah, literally anything.
Have what they call a life, what you used to do outside of work.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Peter, do you get hours? Sorry, do you get emails over on the weekend now? Like lots of emails? Like has it all just spilled over to like there's no time off?
Um, I don't really, I don't know. I have done such a like transformation work wise. So I don't I mean, I barely even look at my email,
Oh.
to be honest with you. So like when I go to sleep on Sunday, I'll be like, do I have to wake up early? And then I'll see if anything came over the weekend. But generally speaking, my job has like busy periods and not busy periods. I'm not in a not busy period right now, so I could have like that luxury. But I come from, I think as you guys know, maybe people on the show might remember it, like the law firm culture. So I worked at a law firm for more than a decade, a huge law firm. And throughout that time period, like and that was my first like job, really.
Yeah.
All I knew was like, there is no such thing as like not working. Like there was never like you're on vacation, you're working. Like you're I literally was like writing a brief, appellate brief on Thanksgiving, like 2017 at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Like there was just no anything else. So I came from that. And then I like kind of learned, I moved into a corporate culture and I saw like the difference. And and stuff. And there are lots of those sorts of people who like try to prove that they are really good workers by strategically sending an email on Saturday, but it just doesn't compute with, it doesn't like translate for me anymore.
Yeah, that lifestyle at the firms sounds horrendous. Just
I
working
preferred it.
21st. You what?
I preferred it to this.
You referred it to this?
I preferred it to this for a long time, like just because the intensity is like very like vivifying, like it makes you feel, like strong and powerful, and it's a kind of like a drug, right? Like I prefer it the same way I prefer like heroin over like lemonade. You know what I mean? But the latter is probably better for me.
Heroin's better than for you. Just to make like
right.
Yeah, heroin definitely better than lemonade, right? We're in agreement here. We can move on.
I agree.
I just on a side note, I'm looking at I have like a Google page open and it has like the weather, and you could like they'll give you the weather in Fahrenheit, and you could click on Celsius, see the weather in Celsius. That makes sense, right? Because some people like Celsius.
How about Kelvin?
You can also click on Kelvin.
That's so the only way I know the weather only.
It's 271 degrees.
278 Kelvin right now. Where are we at?
Yeah. It's 271 Kelvin. Really helpful for everyone out there. You're like, you know what? There's a small percentage of people who are scientists that just not going to understand Celsius and Fahrenheit.
Or you could be that wacky guy at the office. Did you know it was 271 degrees today? Kelvin.
Well, Kelvin literally is, I'm pretty sure it is just Fahrenheit, except it starts at 0 as absolute 0. And 273 is what like 0 is in Fahrenheit. So in Fahrenheit, 0 is like, to us, it's actually 32 degrees below freezing. But you go down to minus 273, and that's absolute 0. So it's just a different scale of Fahrenheit, I believe.
Celsius is better.
Your mom likes it when I give it to her Kelvin style.
We should have went Celsius. I don't like Fahrenheit.
Well, all the whole world
shit sucks.
The world that was like, hey, we have this base 10 system of meters, and no. We have a more confusing system of feet and inches. It'll make no sense.
We're just a pain in the ass in every way, shape, and form.
It has to be like, now that I look upon this, the wizened eyes of an old sage, it had to be like a deliberate decision by like the British Empire to just like continue their power. Like, we will leave, like, no, we're not going to use your like simple base 10, system. Let us teach you imperial. So like, you had to be educated in like British schools probably to get it. Like, it had to be like, that had to be the real reason for it. Like, if you were actually attributing it to anything other than just stupidity, right? Like, that had to be the thinking. Like,
right. Let's go with the asshole system, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it sucks. It totally sucks. But
are you guys glad you learned the Roman numeral system? Speaking of just pointless systems.
I mean, that's the only reason I know what Super Bowl we're at.
My son, we watched the Super Bowl, and he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Roman numerals." Oh, you haven't learned them yet. Well, this means 1. This means 5. This means 10. These are useful for knowing, I guess, how to read some like annoying, like some like decorative clocks and what Super Bowl it is, and that's the end of what's useful for.
I mean, they used to be good for knowing movie sequels, but now, past the third one, they stop numbering them, and they're just retribution. It's like you don't even know what movie you're watching anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they should be forced by law to say it's Spider-Man Part 12.
I would like that better, honestly. Like, some of the movies are so confusing now. You have to like get a chart to like figure out which one you're watching.
Well, if you look at the Star Wars, they start with Part 4. How do you start with Part 4?
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be even worse if they stopped just numbering them also.
Every movie's just, they call it Star Wars. You're like, which one's this? Figure it out when you see it.
You know, Peter Gabriel did that for his first 4 albums.
You just called them all Peter Gabriel?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They're literally
That's awesome.
Yeah, his first 4 albums are called Peter Gabriel.
But like, is it called like Led Zeppelin 1, Led Zeppelin 2?
No, it's just Peter Gabriel.
I think you're wrong about this.
Dude, you're really going to call me out on music trivia?
I think you're
right. You do have your own.
I wouldn't challenge this one. Don't use your challenge card on the flag.
Yeah. I guess well, no, it doesn't say here. It says it has names. It's so, us, plays live. They all have names. What are
So
you
is
talking
so
about?
is the fifth album.
So is the fifth album.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they told him he had to start naming them, so he went so.
I will not give names. I would not do names. Let's,
I
so
like that style. I like
so
that.
they have names to them, but they're probably not the real names. So it's Peter Gabriel / Car, Peter Gabriel / Scratch / Melt and / Security.
That's definitely not album names. No,
Yeah, I
That's
imagine
probably
these are
fine.
names that like they just kind of added in.
it could be something that's on the album cover.
Yeah, they don't say. I mean, I could read the article and figure this out, but
No, I'm telling you, the first four are all Peter Gabriel.
so Peter, what to do with you? Are you so you're back from trying to overthrow the Capitol? What have you been up to?
Yeah, that was a heck of a day.
I
Heck of a
really
day.
did like the Viking horns you wore. That was
Oh yeah.
For those who don't know, we have the guy with the Viking horns on the show. This is Peter. He is calling from prison where he basically has sued the prison system so he can only eat organic food while in prison. Have you guys heard this story?
yeah.
Yes, I've heard it.
They actually moved
It's
him
really-
to a different jail because why not show preferential treatment?
He was used to eating organic food, and so the prison you're not legally allowed to keep someone against their will not eating organic food. What did you just basically said? I'm only used to eating fine dining.
Right.
I eat only the most expensive restaurants I can eat in New York City, so that's what has to be served to me.
I mean, yeah. Where does that stop?
Yeah, Peter, you're the most knowledgeable of the law of the three of us by far. How is it unfair not to give someone organic food in prison?
Yeah, I mean, so I've represented clients, one in particular who I had to file a lawsuit against prison because they would not give him toilet paper.
That seems
at all.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Unless they had bidets, but
it
I
was literally
doubt they did.
dragged on. Like they literally just like refused to comply at all. We had to file a lawsuit.
What was their opposing brief say? Like you give all these reasons about it, like as against his Eighth Amendment rights, and their brief just says fuck them.
They claim that this guy used an excessive amount of toilet paper. And I'm
You
not
use 4 squares. You're not getting any more.
And the ration was, and not to get like too like technical about this issue, but it was like single ply, like 100 tissues, like 100 squares, single ply. And you get that. And he was asked to basically survive on that for 90 days.
Wow. So you basically
do the math. It's like you can use one tissue to wipe your butt, like on average, like 1.05 per day. Like you can use 1 square per day. God help you otherwise. And then when he complained, like they extended the time period and they said that there was like a shortage. So it was like retaliatory. And in the end, like before it ever went to trial, like on the eve of basically trial, a couple of weeks earlier, after all the crazy work had been done to get ready, they sent a letter and told me we have decided to change what we're doing, and we're giving him, one of these roles every 2 weeks, which is apparently, the normal thing to do. And he was happy with it, and we dropped the case, and that was it. But like we had to move heaven and earth to get this dude to have some toilet paper, man, just to wipe his ass, like in an already disgusting like place. And this asshole Q dipshit just is like organic foods. And they're like, oh, like I'm sure he's got a stupid ass name like Jaden Ross or some shit. Like Jaden, like here you go. Like it's crazy. It's like it's become farcical how different every institution in this country is for different types of people and different and it's not even a racial thing to me. It's just like a class thing. Like this kid's like a privileged ass, like California, Nevada, Arizona, ooey gooey, like crunchy guy who literally got away with insurrection and is getting organic food for it.
Would it be fair if they said your choices are non-organic food, or you could eat this guy's used toilet paper?
Can't we just all agree to clean our butts properly like most of the rest of the world?
With a bidet?
Jay, what's that have to do with anything, Jay?
Because then you wouldn't have had to worry about toilet paper.
What the hell are you? Oh my God.
Mark, look, they heard from the Long Island Chamber of Commerce. It's now time for them to hear from the bidet lobby. Jay.
Okay, Jay. Okay, you want to shoot like a hose up your ass? Go on, Jay. Explain to everyone why a hose up your ass is so wonderful.
You've clearly never used one because.
So
I've never.
I got a big reveal here. I am a full-on bidet guy myself. Full on. Like culturally, in my culture, which is like has a lot of French influences and stuff. Bidets have existed since like forever ago. So like the first order of business when my parents like moved to this country was to literally, and this is like in the early 80s, right? To like my dad like created, he's not a plumber, by the way, but he like fashioned a bidet, like with just a molded like copper pipe that he like hammered and a bunch of other things like, welding stuff into like a water line with a valve. That's how essential it is to the culture. So growing up, when I had to use toilet paper, I was like, this is barbaric. Like that's been my culture pretty much since I learned how to, use the bathroom.
I mean, think about it. If you got poop on your arm, you
agree.
would not be cool with just smearing it around with toilet paper.
Peter, I have a question for you. Actually, the resume question that Jay actually has on his resume. I was going to critique Jay for it, but maybe you could just do you think they should have an interest section on his resume, and should the interest section include warding one's butt?
I think there are in some unique cases. I think if you have that interest, then there has to be an interest section, and you have to list it if that's an interest of yours. Like that's, it's like exotic like orchid competitions. If that's something that legitimately you have and do, you got to add it somehow to your resume, and where else but an interest section, unless it's an award section for your, splendid orchid curation.
Jay, we're about to make you an offer here. This will be this might be your dream job because you'll get to do finance and video editing for Marvel movies. Do you have anything? What do you do in your spare time, Jay?
I manufacture bidets.
Oh, okay.
Manufacture them.
Are
you a genie?
we don't have we use toilet paper.
Shalakazam bidet. Sorry.
So wait, Peter, growing up, you only used the bidet?
Yeah. I mean, unless it was in school, in which case I held it, obviously, until I could use a bidet. But in critical situations, and this is probably like way TMI, but I'm going to let you guys know the whole scoop. Like if I was in a critical situation, I would, like before I even entered the stall, I would like take 2 or 3 like paper towels, like soak them, like 1 or 2 of them with like water and some soap, and then like soak 1 or 2 of them with just water. And then I would take like 2 more like just dry paper towels. So I would enter the stall with like at least 6 like wads, like 1 or 2 soapy, 1 or 2 not soapy, but wet, and 1 or 2 dry. Of course, then I would shield the toilet with obviously a lot of special protections to make sure there's no incidental contact, including even tucking in. Some people would lay the toilet paper flat, right, on the toilet seat. That's the common method.
Mm-hmm. Were your parents proud? I have a question. Was your parents proud that it took you 17 hours to use a public toilet?
Yeah. Well, no, I got it down pretty fast. But like, one of the time-consuming things was, you guys are familiar with the protect the toilet seat with the toilet paper hovering method. That ends up with some strange polygon structure that like could leave little openings in the toilet seat that could touch your butt. I used sort of like the exotic mummy method, where I would wrap the toilet paper around the seat itself, like perpendicular to the circumference of the seat. So it would just be like mummified, like things, no chance of incidental.
So you're like
contact.
wrapping a president there.
Yeah. Then, of course, your business. And then first the soapy, then the wet, then the dry. So that's a critical. That's how barbaric I thought just like wiping your ass with toilet paper was until I became an adult.
Why don't you just take a super soaker and bring it to the public toilet with yourself?
I think that might give people the wrong idea. Like you guys don't know what I'm into.
Yeah, Jay, this is not gay, but I'm gonna bend over. Can you shoot the super soaker at my butt?
I mean, Mark,
what's wrong about that?
If you went a week with a bidet, Mark, you would never want to go back.
How has it made true. Jay? How has a bidet? Peter grew up with it. Mm-hmm. Jay, at some point,
was born
as an adult. Yeah, he was born with this shit. Pun intended. Jay, on the other hand, like converted as an adult. How has it made your life better?
I mean, I've never liked it.
Do you almost dance when you walk afterwards?
I've never liked it. I mean, I usually try and time my poops to right before shower time.
You what if
Mhm.
you so you usually take a shower after dropping a deuce?
I try to, yeah.
What do you think if someone doesn't?
If somebody doesn't,
Yeah, someone's like, yeah, I go to the bathroom and then I rejoin society. I don't have to take a shower every time.
I think it's weird that you're comfortable just smearing poop around your body.
Welcome to Brink of Sanity, the
Jesus
premier
Christ.
scatological podcast. We're talking about poop talk, and bidet talk
Oh
today.
yeah, holy shit.
But no. Honestly, I like one more thing about the bidet is you don't need to do the full on like separate, like thing. So your butt's in the toilet now. Move it over to like bidet, like the weird Ritz Carlton ass like Frenchy thing. There's like literal attachments that you could just easily.
I think Jay has that. I think Jay
combine.
has the attachment, right?
I
Jay?
Yeah.
don't, but if I get this apartment that I'm trying to buy, the first thing I'm doing is putting in those bidet attachment seats.
If you don't have the attachment, what have you been doing at home?
Trying to time it before a shower.
Super soaker idea. Super
Okay.
soaker.
So, Jason's pouring like a thing of water down his back.
It's like one day, like a single tear drops his eye as he splashes a mug of water at his ass.
So
One
Jay,
day.
I have a question. Like, do you shower in the morning or the night?
Usually at night.
Okay, so in the morning, you got to leave for work. Like in 15 minutes, and you're like, oh, that burrito from last night. What do you do, Jay? Do you hop in the shower after? Do you get back on the train? What do you do?
No, I mean, I usually have wipes.
Do you and then you take the soiled wipes and put them in your garbage or your toilet?
Toilet.
Because you know you're not supposed to flush those things, right?
I have my apartment is filled with mold and shit anyway. I don't care about the pipes.
I was gonna say those flushable wipes are just horrendous for your pipes.
This building should be condemned anyway. So an extra couple wipes.
My God.
Every time Jay flushes, he's like, "Fuck them!
Yeah,
I'm gonna take this shit down."
I literally don't care.
Jay's just lighting fires, and they're like. So in your new place, if we were thinking about housewarming presents, we should get you a hose for your toilet.
No, not a hose. It's called Tushy. It's like a seat with a built-in bidet on it.
Okay, but that's your big thing you're gonna get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, you know what my dream is? If I ever like can build a house or something, I mean, if it's within the realm of like affordability, I 100% will buy like a Japanese toilet.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like and have it imported over here for every bathroom.
Absolutely.
Having not been to Japan, explain please.
There's an entire menu of options. I'm talking angle, force, temperature, like you name it. It's an option on their seats.
I don't know, this is making me uncomfortable even thinking about.
It's amazing.
It is truly a bespoke experience. I mean, it's really. Like it's super, everything's customizable. It's super duper like clean. The bidet is actually built into the sort of like chassis of the toilet itself, so that it never even it can. Like one of my fears about the bidet growing up, the one that my dad sort of built, was like, what if someone's using the bathroom and they like their pee or something touches the bidet? Then I'm just spraying old pee into myself, which is a terrifying thought for a child. So modern bidets eliminate this problem through their, intelligent engineering design. But the Japanese bidets are like recessed into the ceramic of the actual like toilet. So, the only way to actually pee into it would be like if you were intentionally doing it. And some of I've used Japanese toilets where the bidet is covered with like a latch. It's like it's got a gate, and it only opens up when someone is seated on it. Making it like it's like protected like Fort Knox. Like you couldn't pee on it if you tried. You'd have to like go in there with like a butter knife and pry it open just to pee in it. Impossible.
Now I have a good challenge for when I go to Japan.
Which is the first thing Americans would do.
Absolutely,
100%.
literally every tourist place is just the bidets are filled with pee.
Yeah, barbarian.
That sounds wonderful. Japan has spent so much in their technology is about like making that butt just nice and fresh.
It's hard to explain unless you've experienced it. I'm telling you, once you experience it, you won't go back.
One of these days. Yeah. So Peter, tell us. just moving to a different topic, not about shit.
Can I do one more bidet thing, please?
Oh,
Just for
go crazy.
last
Go crazy.
thing.
Go.
I think if you were
Flush
looking,
our soda on the
Jay,
toilets.
if you were looking for a cool like video editing project, I know you're more on the editing side than the like content generation side, but you know those like old ads of like, oh look, Mylanta, and then they have like the pic cartoonish guy who's like rubbing his tummy, and it's like, you know, pulsating red and stuff, and has lines, and then he takes the Mylanta pill, and then it like goes down, and it radiates out like pink,
Mhm.
you know, and he's like, wow, it's way better. You should do in the style of like that ad, sort of like a side by side of like two butts, like one being wiped with the toilet paper and one being splashed with the bidet, and then like when it's done, the toilet paper leaves like all this, you know, kind of like animated like nasty germs on the butt, while the bidet like sparkles clean, like Bewitched opening credit style. I think that would be an awesome project and a great way to fight for the cause. That's it. Sorry.
Did you guys have growing up the like in your house, like someone flushed the toilet, the shower would get really cold?
Yeah.
So I'm just picturing that with the bidet. You're like, going to use the bidet, and someone flushes the toilet in the other room. You're like, oh my God, cold. What level is the water, like warm, hot, cold? What level? What
You choose.
Well, I mean, if you're in
my
Japan,
friend.
you choose the temperature too.
And the one that I have in my house and my apartment in Chicago and stuff, it's got cold and hot taps.
Nice.
Do you get like addicted to the hot water? You're like, it's not hot enough. Want it hotter. Want to boil my butt.
No.
You could do some damage with it if you're not careful. So
Sounds
you know.
terrible.
Anyway, no, dude, it's great. You'll do it, and it's one of those things.
Jay,
Just I bet money.
Jay, let's just say you have some chili. The next morning, you got to lay just a big, large deuce. You don't have time. You have to get some big meeting at work. So you have to get right in the train. Does that ruin your day, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have time, and you're out of wipes.
Yeah, I get angry.
Watch it. I didn't get a chance to shower.
Yeah, I'm like
shower after my poop. I didn't shower.
I'm legit angry. Yes.
So next time you're kind of acting a little grumpy in the show, can I just ask you if you didn't have a chance to shower after your poop?
Sure. Didn't you want to move on from the poop talk?
Okay, so Peter's now going to tell us about. He apparently made a lot of money on GameStop. He actually started the movement on Reddit. Peter,
dude, oh my God, I wish that guy, the dude on Reddit, his name is I forget his actual name, but he's like, I think it's Deep Fucking Value. At one point he was up, I think from like an initial investment of 54 grand or 56 grand. I'm not kidding. $48 million.
Jesus.
Oh shit.
It's a nice little markup.
Did you hear that story? Like, obviously it's not as much money, but there's some story about some mom who wanted to teach her kid about like stocks and whatever, and gave her $60 worth of GameStop stock like 2 years ago, and basically sold it for $3,600 during the craziness. The kid made out like a bandit.
That's nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I had to work 10 years for that at that age.
We have an email.
Peter, did you buy any GameStop or AMC or any of those others?
Actually,
were you tempted? I guess.
No, I actually bought some at like the very peak. No, I knew full well, and I was even telling my my brother-in-law, who's like in finance, like,
yeah,
I was like, is this gonna completely crash like in a ridiculous and stupid way? But just to be like part of the movement, I bought some of some GameStop, like I don't even remember, like I don't know, 10 or 20 shares, like at the you know, very high point, because I was so just intrigued by like what was happening and how chaotic and insane it was. And I figure, I mean, like if there's any possibility that people buying a couple of shares here and there, like the retail movement having this crazy degree of like, I don't know if it's solidarity or something else, but just like working together in this coordinated fashion, which hedge funds and stuff do all the freaking time. If there's any, even like a 1% possibility that that like there's something to it, I wanted to contribute to it, even if I knew the money would end up being a significant loss, which, you know, it will be if the price stays this low and I actually cash out. But like, I have the luxury of not really giving a shit.
Yeah. The what was I gonna say? Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That whole thing. I was like, I actually had bought AMC at a low price and sold it a day later for like, I didn't put much money in it, but for like 3 times the price. I was like, holy shit! Like, a friend of mine just like, he's like, let's just buy into it, and we just caught it right before it like started dropping.
That's awesome. The GameStop thing is really interesting to me for like a host of reasons, but what the brokerages did, I don't know if you guys know, but the brokerages like literally they locked down accounts and prevented them from buying GameStop, AMC, or whatever like these other big retail stocks were. They literally,
I
like
heard,
you could only buy one at a time, and there's certain sorts of orders, right? Like a sell limit order. For people listening who don't know what that is, it's like when you say sell this stock when it reaches like this price, like this limit. They prevented people from setting even like limit orders because people were going to sell a limit at like super ridiculous prices, right? They were setting like $10,000 sell limit for one share of GameStop, and all this stuff is just fed into the algorithms that really run the market. Like 75 or 77% of all trading in the stock market is computers just moving money around.
Yeah.
But they stopped even established accounts from setting limit orders that they considered too high specifically for this stock. So the brokerages basically got like directly involved in preventing, the potential like crazy run up of all these stocks, which I find obviously kind of messed up and sort of a joke given, how the market's supposed to be this like
Free enterprise,
total free enterprise, like let it, capitalism, like, hey man, some people get washed, some people make a fortune thing. It's like clearly not. So that I think is really cool.
So the counter argument. So I just figured Robinhood was told by its like big lord master hedge funds like stop, don't let people do this anymore, and they just like took the orders. But what I heard was that was Robinhood they had to like put up a certain amount of money per trade, and they basically just ran out of money. They had to like slow the trading down because they didn't have the money to match all the trades that were being made.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't believe it at all. And there have been like a couple of people from Robinhood who have said basically like, that it's all bullshit. Like some of them got like a $5 DoorDash gift card or something in an email that Robinhood explained. Like, we're sorry about what happened. We hope this helps you guys. And it's just like, we had to take action and it was just some bullshit. Like we had to take action to protect the integrity of our product and like our market partners. Like it's total bullshit. And maybe Robinhood, you could say, had that excuse, but like almost all other brokerages, like even big established ones like TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, all these guys, they did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, these are things that have like, they could cover, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of trade exposure in like an hour.
Well, I do like that, like Robinhood, like we had to protect the integrity of our service. What's your service? Our goal here is to bankrupt millennials. This isn't helping.
Yeah, Zapateco's just said his brokerage blocked him from buying GameStop and AMC also. So yeah, it was pretty widespread.
It is pretty crazy though. Like in 2008, they had that whole thing of like the hedge funds shorting the economy, and they made a movie about how awesome these guys are. But when individuals try to do it like collectively on Reddit, people are like, holy shit! How could you hurt the hedge funds?
Yeah,
this is un-American.
Poor millionaires trying to profit off of businesses failing.
Are you guys excited for the Reddit GameStop movie? It's already in its works.
There's multiple ones.
Peter, what happened to you?
I think he just got snuffed.
Did Peter have did something happen to him?
I think he
did he have a seizure?
Sorry, I'm back. I think my signal broke because I had to go out and retrieve my dog from like 12 inches of snow.
Oh, okay, the dog thing. That makes sense. No, because I heard. What's the dog's name? Tracy?
Yeah, Trixie, but Trixie, I call her Nugget and Doodle more often.
Okay. That must be really confusing for the dog.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Yeah, she doesn't have multiple identities.
You guys want to do an email?
Small price to pay for my pleasure.
Yeah, let's do the email.
All right. Sure. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com is our email. Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, how about a new segment?" So I guess Lorenzo's doing away with the great moments in Brink history.
Oh, come on, Lorenzo. That was the best that was the best email, the best segment we've ever had on the show.
It's probably a lot of work, though.
Yeah, but do the work. Come on. Come on, Lorenzo.
All right, so the
By
new
far the
segment.
best
What else
segment
you
we've
got
ever had
going
on
on,
the show.
Lorenzo? He's got like a life and a family. Come on, man. Your priorities.
He's gonna get this is gonna be a much lazier bit. Come on.
Well, this new segment's called Tight Ass Tips with Mark the Jew.
Okay, so
Whoa.
I don't know where he's going with this.
So here's a quiz for Mark. Let's say you go out for a day trip with your family of 4 between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Do you A, buy lunch for the whole family while they're out, B, pack the kids a lunch and buy lunch for the adults only, or C, pack a lunch for the whole family?
Well, what I'd like to do is just pack a lunch for the whole family. What we actually do is buy lunch because I just can't have that fight with my wife.
Yeah, I could feel the anger simmering.
There's so often where like I will just bite my lip because I don't want, like, I know my wife will get mad. And then so often she'll do things where she'll like not spend money on things because she'll be like, I knew you were gonna make a huge deal about this. I was like, no, I would have been fine. And she's like, I just had a whole fight with you in my head about how you're gonna be cheap about this. So I don't want to let her bother. So I drive her insane with my cheapness.
And we have some Facebook questions too.
Oh, you have more questions on that? I
No,
thought Mark the cheap Drew would be like a lot more questions to go.
Would
you guys bring your imaginary families? Would you guys pack lunch or would you buy lunch?
I would buy lunch.
Peter, are you buying?
I'd probably be with someone who would insist on making lunch, but if it was just like me, I'd buy lunch.
Okay. Wait, Peter, what if you and I got together and we had a family? Could we bring a lunch?
It would depend on how much you wanted to avoid fighting with me.
What if we bring a super soaker? So I'll spray your butt after.
All right, deal. We could bring lunch.
Okay. Are there more emails, Jay?
No, just Facebook.
Okay, there aren't any Facebook questions.
Yeah, no, Andrew wrote a couple while we started recording. So Andrew writes, Jay, does a person named similar to Rat Snooper wear an outdoor outfit? I have no idea what that means.
Rat Snooper. Hey, Peter, do you wear an outdoor outfit?
No, I wish I had that level of dedication, but I'm pretty good. I'm not that far behind Jay.
Where are you guys as far as your level of dedication to fighting COVID? Oh, by the way, Jay, your girlfriend has the full vaccine. Is she fully vaccinated now?
Yeah, got the second one on Friday.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, she's got to wait like 2 more weeks though before she's like fully effective, right?
Right. Yeah.
How will her life change? Beyond the fact that she'll be protected, like when she's actually being a nurse. But like, are you guys going to change your have friends over? Like, Jay, what can I come over?
I'm still not vaccinated, and you're probably going to be one of the last people to come over.
What if we both get the vaccine? We only have the first vaccine, not the second. Will you let me come over and cough on you?
No.
Okay. What if we have both vaccinations? It's been a few weeks. Can I cough on you with one of the new strains? When are we gonna do a show? Jay, why can't we get together for a show? You wouldn't risk your life for the show.
If the person Andrew's, I think, talking about, I'm the only one that does an outdoor outfit.
I think, Peter, do you think it would help the show if Jay caught COVID during the show from doing it like in person?
I don't know if it would help the show.
I don't think there would be a show if I was gasping for breath.
I don't think there would be. That's exactly what I was going to say. I don't think there'd be a show.
This is the best episode ever, but Jay, he doesn't look too well. Like I don't know how to upload the episode. Oh well.
Lost forever.
Lost forever. The golden episode.
So before we go on, can I just ask you, Mark, so you're your parent, can I tell you about some of the habits I've observed of my sister raising her kids?
How old are your sister's kids?
It's like about almost 7, like 6 3/4, and like 4 3/4, 4.5.
Okay, I have a 9 and almost 7-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah. And you've told us before your sister's bedtime for her kids are whenever they please.
Yeah, yeah. And that wonderful habit remains. But in addition to that,
What else?
my sister sleeps with her daughter pretty much every night. It doesn't start like that, but literally, I mean, it's maybe there's been 1 or 2 nights in the 6 weeks I've been here that this didn't happen, but like pretty much every night, my niece was, like I said, almost 7, will just like wake up at some random hour, like 2 a.m., whatever, 3 a.m., screaming, or just being like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy," like not in a like nightmare way, but just calling for mom. And she'll wake up her brother, her little brother, who is a sound sleeper, and he will start screaming, and then she'll say, "I'm scared," and then he'll be like, "I'm scared too." And my sister will have to run up and like negotiate with them basically for hours, and basically she ends up like sleeping with her daughter pretty much
Yeah.
every night, because that's the only way to get this girl to freaking attempt to go back to sleep. And she'll still wake up, and if she wakes up beside my sister, she will like nudge her awake and be like, "Read to me." Like she will, and this nightmare goes on. I mean, every night. Thank God my room that I'm sleeping in is on a different like level.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I'm immune from all the chaos that happens at the level below. But the room my sister, my niece, and my nephew are sleeping in, which is my sister's old room, is adjacent to my parents' room. So my poor parents have to deal with it like way too often too. But that's not even the worst habit. The one that made me that I think Lorenzo's question made me think
But
of.
just by the way, that so first of all, that sounds horrendous. But
Yeah.
It is
I know other
nightmare.
parents who have the exact like they're not alone with this because there are other I know other parents who have the exact same situation, and I don't know how you sleep with your kid every day, but people just like the kids just break them. But
Yeah.
what else?
Yeah, it's funny you mention that, because I feel like I haven't said this, but like in my maybe the subtext of some of my communications with my sister, I'm like, I've definitely like felt like this can't be normal. Your kid, like my niece, who I love and adore, is
Yeah, of
like a
course.
crazy freak. Like I thought it was a very irregular thing. So it makes me, I'll be a little bit softer
Kids
maybe when
kids
I
are kids are psychopaths. They just did like they're complete and utter psychopaths. If any adult acted like them, they'd be like put in an institution. But like this
yeah,
is how kids are. They're the id. They're just like whatever they're thinking
yeah,
right now. That's the most important emotion possible. They have no
yeah,
bandwidth for anything else, especially when they're tired. And you as a parent have to figure out the battles you want to fight and the battles you don't want to fight, and how to like soothe them and everything else. And just falling into the trap with the sleep thing is just fucking insane. But they're not. I know other parents, and like every time I hear another parent talk about that. It's not like we're great parents, but like we've at least figured that shit out. That have them sleep in their own beds and like no issue with that. Um, every time you talk to another parent who like tells you how they sleep with their kid, my wife and I are like we like fist bump. We're like score. At least we don't do that.
yeah. It's unfathomable to me. Like I get upset when like my night is ruined when my dog wakes me up to go out like a little too early. Like I can't even imagine this. Like I would, and maybe it's why my sister kind of is crazy sometimes, like sleep deprivation and stuff.
I'm
But
sure.
that's sort of like an aberrant thing that has more to do with like stuff I can't really identify as the cause than the
Yeah.
other habit, which Lorenzo's question got me thinking of, which is like my sister and her husband, who again, great people, love them,
Yeah.
wonderful people, but like they are insanely awful with money, like to a degree that I cannot fathom it. I truly
So
cannot fathom it.
they're
And
very open about their so I know people in my life who are not good with money. But they and I guess so they're very open about how they're bad with money, or how do you? Because I would think they
yeah,
might hide it. I guess.
yeah, no, it's let me put it this way. So like I've seen some of this through the prism of and I've known it for a while, right? Like,
Yeah.
there are things that I'll leave out of the show, but like, I have some pretty good reason long before this to know this, but like having living here now. So at one point I've had to go to they stored some stuff before they moved to my parents' house, where they have more space and, can send the kids to a safe school, whatever. So I saw their storage unit. It's like, it's like the size of like a double garage, right? It's
Okay.
like 90% full of just like junk and toys and like kids shit, like just hundreds of bags of like just tons of toys, infinity.
We have so much junk also. I have to say, like, I don't know necessarily like we buy so much crap for our kids. That's just like
yeah.
But is that what you're talking about, them being bad with money, or is there more to this?
There's more. So then in the house, there's like a ton of stuff, like tons and tons of stuff. And their approach when they can't like find a thing is they're just like, oh, just order a new one. And they will immediately order another of like whatever it is. Like, oh, do you see the Spider-Man sheets? Like, no, I haven't seen them in a while. Oh, they're lost. Buy a new one. Like, and I mean that's like I could deconstruct this like them for in a million different ways, but that's one of the different like small things that I'm like, well, why don't you like look for it? And they're like, oh, the storage place is a mess, and like who knows where it might be. I thought it was here, it might not be here, whatever. And I'm like, you guys are in crippling debt. Like maybe this isn't something you can not do. Yeah, whatever. But like the difficulty of that is like not worth the time. And I'm like, just so many weird little habits like that. That seem to make no sense.
They're like, we'll just order a new kitchen table. Can't you just clean the kitchen table? Listen, there's a lot of, I know someone spilled sauce. I'm not, let's get a new kitchen table. What's the difference?
No, you're truly like a situation not very different from that unfolded before my very eyes. I'm not even kidding. Like it was like, but instead of kitchen table, it was a dresser. It was like a small little like kids nightstand thing that one of the kids put a sticker on, and like it left a sticker residue.
Why did you just leave the sticker on there? My kids' furniture is covered with stickers. They like it. Who cares?
No, the kid put it on, and then like days later, like ripped it off, leaving residue.
Put a sticker. Get a bigger sticker. Put it over it.
Well, yes, these were the things that I proposed in the moment because I like saw it unfolding, and like it didn't work until I was basically like, look, how about this? I promise you, I will goddamn buy you a new dresser if you like let me clean it, let me try to clean it, and if it doesn't come off, I will replace it, and I will take ownership of this kid's dresser for myself. And she was like, fine. And I mean, it took some elbow grease because it was like some pretty gnarly residue, but it met her specifications, and we were spared buying another goddamn kid's dresser. But you're not far off, dude.
Are they like, I guess, like I don't have to get into their whole financial situation, but are they, because there's one thing if they make a lot of money and they just spend money like morons, but they have the money, they just spend it stupidly, or are they like kind of broke anyway? Like are they, where are they in this financial world?
I mean, they make decent like salaries. I wouldn't say a lot of money or anything like that. Definitely not a lot of money, or then their appetite would be, satiated by like what they're able to put on the table. But and they're not like broke, but like any positive movement that is happening with respect to their financial situation is happening despite themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's despite their actual like efforts to self-sabotage. So anyway, like there's just a whole mishmash of chaos here. And to make matters like even worse, like some of the relationships are a little bit not antagonistic, but like,
Peter, just want to, like our show may not have a huge audience, but one of the, I think your sister and her husband are like two of the main like fans for our show.
Oh, sorry guys.
But Peter's talking about a different sister that lives.
Yeah, this has been a work of fiction and parody. Thank you for tuning in. Anyway, it's crazy, but it's working out. I just I hate inefficiencies, man. I really hate that sort of stuff.
It is maddening with someone that you care about, when they just aren't good with money, and you see them spend money in ways that you're like they're like, you just like they're not like they're in kind of similar situation, but like you're like, do you really have to buy another Starbucks? I mean, it's a cliche, but you're like, do you have to buy coffee every day? You're like, stop fucking buying the coffee.
Yeah, I know a couple who they're like really hurting for money, and their house is just full of stuff. And I'm like, just sell it. Now that I'm moving, I'm playing, do I really want to move that? And the answer is no to almost everything. I'm selling like everything in my apartment. I've made hundreds of dollars just selling stuff lying around my apartment.
But you have to get new stuff for your new place, right, Jay?
Yeah, but like stuff like,
Be strategic about it.
Some books, some DVDs. Like,
Yeah.
how often am I going to watch like 12 seasons of South Park? I'm going to put that up. I have like, a light fixture that I'm not going to use, or, like anything. Literally, I find a wire. I don't even know what it is. I take a picture of it. I put it on eBay. Somebody buys it for like $8. Like, it's crazy.
Jay's moved out. He's like, I sold the toilet. I wasn't gonna take the toilet with me. Yeah, I sold the window. Like, I wasn't taking the window with me. Come on.
I had Pez dispensers. People bought that. Like, people are buying literally everything in my apartment.
What do people buy?
Pez dispensers.
Oh, I thought you said that, but I wasn't sure.
People are buying literally everything.
You should sell like a black mold specimen for someone to just like take and sabotage someone else's home with.
Are you interested in biological warfare? I might have the package for you.
You should sell on eBay a COVID covered Pez dispenser, and you'll see people will buy that just because you say it's COVID covered. It'll go the opposite way you expect.
I'm being asked if I have Pokemon cards. I don't, but I sold almost all of my trading cards, and I got a bunch of them. I had like Jurassic Park trading cards and Ninja Turtles, and like.
Anyway, Jay, this is why Jay's now is a millionaire. He
That's how I'm getting the apartment. I just sold all my shit.
Jay's like, oh, how'd I pay for the apartment? Ninja Turtle cards. You should have collected them. I did.
I had the whole series of like Batman cards from the '86 movie.
So any update on when you're moving?
No, everything's in a complete holding pattern right now.
Okay.
So that's fine.
Any update on when you're moving your Batman cards?
Those are already shipped out.
Well, if the apartment falls through, will you be like, now I don't have the Batman cards? What would be the most valuable Batman card? Is it the Joker? Is it or is it like a Alfred or something like that?
I think it was the hologram card.
Okay.
There was always the hologram card. That was like the holy grail of cards.
Did you guys collect baseball cards growing up?
Yeah, I just sold about 2,000 of them.
Holy shit!
Oh, really?
How much did you get for the baseball cards?
They're worth nothing. Absolutely nothing. I sold 80 Batman cards for almost the same price as I sold 2,000 baseball cards for. It was like nothing.
I collected comic books, and then some like comic themed cards, like I think X-Men cards or some of those like weird random ones.
I kept the X-Men cards.
Those were huge, dude. Those were huge.
I kept
for some period of time.
I kept the Marvel cards, the X-Men cards, and the Garbage Pail Kids. I sold everything else.
I wonder which cards you can get the most. Like, I wonder if you had a mint set of like Desert Storm trading cards. Would that be worth a lot?
I have 6 unopened packs of Desert Storm trading cards.
Oh, you really do?
Yeah.
Are you selling them?
Yeah, nobody's buying them. First series Garbage Pail Kids are worth a shitload.
What do you get for that? Yeah, how much is that?
Like hundreds of dollars.
Ooh. What about a Jose Canseco rookie card? Because I've got that.
I have a Mark McGuire rookie card. I don't.
I have a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. I think it's the Upper Deck one also. I can't imagine it's worth anything.
Is there a baseball card talk podcast?
Yes, we walked onto it.
Not only is there a podcast.
Welcome to the Ball Card Chat.
I mean, not only is there a podcast for everything, there's a celebrity doing it. So it's probably Ken Griffey Jr. is probably doing the baseball card podcast.
You think so? That's not a bad guess.
So there's a
somebody just asked if you drank from a ketchup container from a restaurant.
Me?
No, Mark.
I would. Yeah, why not?
No, I guess your water bottle looks weird.
I forgot people were actually looking at it.
Does it have the word like Heinz 57 on it?
This is the fun part about doing live shows. People are just looking at the background and like asking questions.
That's hilarious.
I'm looking on eBay. It says rarest PSA Tom Brady rookie card in the world. Elite stats. It's from when he's in Michigan for $5 million.
Well, people also put ridiculous prices just to see if they get it.
Yeah. Like that seems fucking insane. The 52 most valuable basketball cards of all time.
I'm sure they're all from like the 50s.
Oh, they have to be. Maybe like a Wilt Chamberlain, like, whatever might be up there.
Maybe a Kareem rookie.
George Mikan for $90,000. Yeah, they're all old ones. Yeah. There's a Rick Barry for I mean, who gives a shit? The old ones.
Well, because everyone who was our parents' age knew their cards were worth a shitload, but they all threw them away. So they told us all to save ours. So now none of ours are worth anything because we all saved it.
Exactly. None of ours will ever be worth anything ever. Like, like 100 years from now, like the Patrick Ewing rookie card will be still worth like 7 cents adjusted for inflation. You know what I mean? Like,
it'll be like our kids. Our kids will be like, I don't know. I mean, they said to hang on to these Bitcoins, but now they're not worth anything. I guess we all just should have bought all these Bitcoins.
That's
Dogecoin. Dogecoin is what has had like a run up or something, right? Something weird happened.
Yeah.
I know Elon Musk announced that Tesla was buying $1.5 billion in Bitcoin, and they would accept Bitcoin for purchasing Tesla. Can I ask, what was the point of, outside of trying to just jack the price of Bitcoin, what's the point of that? Was Tesla like, we'll sell more cars if we open this up to like drug dealers and like sex slave traffickers?
Well, if he put 1.5 billion into Bitcoin and then says that you can use it to buy cars, people might buy more Bitcoin to buy his car, making the price go up even higher.
Well, no one's gonna buy Bitcoin to buy it. They're just gonna hear the fact that he's doing that. They'll put more money in. He'll sell it a week later for $3 billion, and he'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he is 100% like he's manipulated the market, before. Yeah. And by the way, not in like, when I say manipulate the market, I mean like not in a subtle way at all, like in a extremely obvious, clearly criminal way. So like this is also just that, like it's very transparent to anyone who's been watching this, douchebag. Like this is how he operates. Like, yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool though if you could do that? You just go on Twitter and go, "Hey guys, I'm buying Apple today," and everyone just jacks up the price of Apple. You're like, "Cool, I'm selling Apple the next day because fuck you all." I'm not going to announce the sale though. I'm just going to announce the buy.
That would be nice. I mean,
maybe in the next life, I could be born to the son of like African ruby and emerald miners like he was.
Like, and the thing is, like, if you buy 1.5 billion in like Apple or something, like some stock, you got to register that. I'm sure, like at that purchase, people can find out when you're selling it. Versus like Bitcoin, it's all fucking anonymous. So you could just, he probably bought it, sold it an hour and a half later, and it'll just be like, "Oh yeah, I still have the Bitcoin. Do you really? Yeah, I still have it."
I think we'll know when he sells $1.5 billion worth. I'm pretty sure the prices will tumble a little bit.
You think? I mean, people will all go into it, and no one will realize he's gotten out of it by the time. Or fuck,
but
who cares?
You can launder it. Like that's one of the nice things about like Bitcoin is it can be laundered, pretty discreetly if you're smart about it. Like you basically can see in the general market like what the highest sort of like sums that are being transacted are at any given time. Like it's on a publicly visible exchange, so you could sort of just every once in a while. You drop like randomly something that's like 20% lower than the highest number. It just gets, it kind of like blends in, and you can automate that so that it's happening sort of casually, like even if it's every hour until all of it's like laundered away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes the whole thing.
Like, I mean, it could all be automated to the point that you could actually be monitoring the price of Bitcoin, monitoring that price like in real time.
Your audio just got
fucked
weird, and then
sorry about that.
You're back.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, I was saying you can monitor, automate it so that you're monitoring the price of Bitcoin in real time while structuring this like chain of like sales or exchanges or whatever, and it can be completely invisible.
Well, I've still not understood the purpose of it I understand the idea maybe like it's like some kind of electronic gold, but like for actually buying stuff. The way it fluctuates, its only purpose of it is just to seem like you're laundering money and you need a way to spend money that people don't know about it. But you're only doing it for like nefarious activities.
I think it'll be more viable when the price flattens.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, I think it'll be a more viable currency once the prices flattens and isn't jumping all over the place.
Was that the point of Dogecoin, or what was the one or Tethercoin? The one was supposed to be like the stuff like always the same value.
Dogecoin was made as a joke, and now people are buying it as a joke.
It was a meme,
and it went up 1,000%. And people are just doing that as a joke.
But the real.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go. I was looking at a list of Dogecoin. I don't know any Dogecoin. I was just looking at a list of the most valuable cards, and they have like Honus Wagner card, Babe Ruth card, and somewhere in the list there's a pre-release Pikachu card for $250,000, and there's another like there's a Pikachu Illustrator for $220,000.
Damn.
This fucking Pikachu crap.
But I don't know that he has Pokemon cards.
Yeah, you should have had the Pokemon card. You screwed up, Jay.
Yep.
Jay, do you have any Dogecoins, Jay?
I don't know.
Peter, do you have any Bitcoin or any of the crypto?
No, I had like several Bitcoins that I bought. Like I think I told you guys maybe on the show many years ago.
You
but
lost,
I lost the thing. So unfortunately, they were lost. But other than that, I mean, the idea behind it is it's supposed to be like a transnational way of exchanging, transacting like value and commerce and stuff. Like that's the front facing thing. Like this, your country is like preventing us from sending money. Like I have family in second world, third world countries or whatever, who it's like virtually impossible to send money to because like, unless you bribe like 10 people along the way, it's not getting there. If you send cash and it's a check, whatever. Now, if I had if any of my family were sophisticated enough to like use Bitcoin and like know how to like access the computer and like figure this out in their language, I could easily send them money. And it's kind of, it's like, unless they go and immediately deposit it in a bank, it's sort of like dark money, which all the most powerful institutions in the world have been doing for like decades and decades and maybe even more centuries even. So like the idea is like, no, we should democratize and sort of like federalize the use of, exchanging value, in currency or whatever. But the practical application is it's used for tons of shady shit, like constantly.
Yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense as far as sending money to other countries and so forth. You can get a Upper Deck Exquisite Collection rookie patch with an autograph card for LeBron James for only $1.8 million.
I'll pass. Let's see. We have questions. Oh, Andrew writes, where did you guys watch the Super Bowl?
I watched it on my couch with my family. And my kids stayed up for the full Super Bowl because they really wanted to stay up for the full Super Bowl. And whatever. Why not? What about you guys? I bet, Peter, I know your niece and nephew probably stayed up for the whole Super Bowl. And then 15 hours thereafter.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it. I couldn't give a shit. I hate Tom Brady no matter what team he's on. So I don't care. And I got like an update, like a friend texted me and was like, don't waste your time. Like after the first, I was like, I'm not. So I actually played a video game with my dad that Jay, you should play if you haven't, called Until Dawn. Just aside.
Wait, is that the one we're playing, Jay?
Yeah, that's the one we're doing a stream of that.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I should watch your stream.
Yeah,
yeah. Jay has played this game twice. He's played it, and now he's playing it a third time. But for the stream, Jay is playing it, and I am like, he's asking me, I get to choose what he does, and he's seeing how I feel I get killed. We just finished we were finished 4 chapters. We're gonna start chapter 5 next week, I guess.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, it's such a fun game.
So our YouTube channel is TITOWAJ, and you can watch the first 2 if you want to see Mark get everybody killed.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna watch that after this. That sounds freaking awesome.
I can't believe Mr. Robot's in the video game. It's just I still can't get over him being in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably got him for like nothing too, because I think this was pre Mr. Robot as well. So it was before he had his Ascendant Academy Award for. Came out in 2015. This game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it was before the Queen movie, also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Way before that. My dad's insisting like he really wants to keep everyone alive. I was like, I know when I played it the first time, I probably killed like half the group. Like all my instincts were terrible.
Yeah, that's the same with me. The first time I played it, I got exactly half of them killed.
I've killed. We're getting up to chapter 5. I've killed 2 people already.
Who'd you kill?
But I'm not sure if I'm trying to kill them or not trying to kill them.
No.
Do you remember who you killed?
Don't spoil
anything,
Peter.
I won't. Don't worry. I won't. Yeah, don't worry. Who'd you kill?
I have no idea. Characters in I don't know their names.
Jessica and Mr. Robot.
Oh, Josh.
I killed Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot's dead already?
Yeah, remember the blade sawed him in half?
Oh
No,
yeah, yeah.
I chose to kill Ashley in that scene, the girl, but I guess you picked to spare her.
No,
You're struck by love.
Mark chose Ashley as well, but it's on like a rail and it does the
Oh, you
opposite of
made a
what you
mistake.
say.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh man. Yeah, it's a really cool game. It's like I don't know, it is not it like if you read if I read a description about it, I'd be like, kind of get gimmicky, but it's like so much more satisfying in a weird way, even though it has like some, elements that could be better. I thought it was just like all around so freaking fun.
There's a
another game
bunch of
called Hidden Agenda that is similar to this, by the way, just for the future.
Hidden Agenda.
Yeah, it's like different but similar, not nearly as good, but it's interesting.
Okay. I'm
Detroit
interested in seeing where this goes. I'm interested in seeing where this goes. I feel like I'm really disappointed at where it goes, but the story of it all.
I mean, you'll have to see.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
I've been like also like my friend, I like zoomed with him a while back, and he was like, "Oh, dude, have you played Cyberpunk?" And I was like, "Nah, I heard it like sucked or was whatever." But he insisted. He was like, "It's so good, it's so good." So I bought it. Jay, did you play it at all?
No.
It kind of sucks. It's like it just kind of sucks. Like it has just enough to keep you playing, story wise.
Because this is the new one that just came out.
Yeah,
because I read there's like weird quirks of the game. We talked about on the show where like characters their pants would just drop at any point.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the bugs are like I saw like two characters, like just NPCs have a dispute, and this one guy they were disputing something, and one guy pulled his gun and he's like, "Oh yeah," and he shot the other guy, and the other guy exploded in the air like 100 feet in like a perfect parabola and landed right on the guy who shot him and killed him.
That sounds amazing.
I recorded it, dude. I have a recording of this. Like I could find it. I did I saved the video on the PS5. Like it's somewhere out there. Like, and that's like the most benign of it. Like it's so unpolished. It's so shitty. And I mean, I'll keep playing it. It's also, by the way, incredibly depressing because it feels very much like our actual future. Like it's exactly where we are headed, 100% guaranteed.
Why? What happens in the? I don't know enough about what actually happens.
It's just like a dystopian future where everything's like
corporate. It's like corporations have basically taken over all of society. Everything is like corporate, hyper corporatized, like to an extreme. Like the government's just, there to bear witness, like corporations. And actually, did you guys see that article about the some dude? I think the governor in Arizona proposing what are they called, innovation zones, like this legislation that would allow corporations to build areas within a state where basically like they would run their own government, like they would have their own government. Like they would collect taxes, they would take care of like transportation, medication, hospital, like everything.
What could go wrong?
Why are they proposing this? Like Arizona's, the governor's like, this state's way too big for me to run. Can some corporations like take over parts of the state for me?
Dude, I think he's a Democrat too, by the way. So like, just so you know, listeners who are curious about like the American public, system of like governance, our choices are insane, batshit, like lunatics who want to like bring guns to church and schools and like, think Donald Trump is Jesus or some shit. And a bunch of assholes who want to allow our corporations to basically replace the government, like across the country. These are our true salient choices, guys.
What are they called? Arizona. What did you say they're called?
Innovation zones.
Oh, innovation.
It's like Arizona or Nevada. I'm pretty sure. I think it's Nevada. But look it up if you and check me on this, because I mean, it's literally like, this is the sort of thing that like can only like move forward and become more insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a proposal created by Blockchains LLC, a semi-autonomous county that slowly assumes power of the county. Wait,
is this America or is this Cyberpunk? I don't even know anymore.
It's Dude, yeah.
No,
They
well,
would levy taxes.
couldn't
They
tell what
would
Mark was
like,
reading.
Yeah, no. I can't read it fast enough. So just go on, Jeff.
Peter,
yeah.
if you
So
like Cyberpunk, Detroit Become Human, and Beyond Two
love it.
Souls.
I never played Beyond Two Souls because I think someone said to me that like it was buggy or something. But
I didn't have any
if you
problems.
recommend it, I'll get it. I'll play it.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with it. I liked it a lot.
So according to
I love
the
Detroit Become Human. It's awesome.
So good.
according
so
to a
good.
draft of the bill that's been proposed in Nevada, this would create the innovation zones, large swaths of land owned by companies that specialize in emerging technologies like blockchain, artificial intelligence, biometrics, autonomous vehicles, and connected infrastructure that carry virtually the same authority as a county government to impose taxes, form school districts, and justice courts, among other traditional services
Oh,
that
hell
governments
yeah.
provide. So even
Hell.
they are the law.
Yep.
You need companies here. So hey, Google, if you come here, you fucking you can have the women. You have all their women. You can sleep with all the women.
Dude, it's literally, it's like, yo, come here. You could do whatever you want. You can make up your own laws and rules, bro. Whatever. Here, just take the land and like take these dipshit, soulless, lifeless, cultureless, brainless, futureless assholes off our hands. Like, please take them. It literally is the like final abdication of any like right for the government to exist. They're just like passing the baton to corporations. Like they're like, hey, we created you monsters. Like, can you now like do stuff? Like do whatever you want. Like it's yours. Bye. Like
If
that's
you're,
where we're headed,
if
dude.
you're
It's
a
crazy.
company in the artificial intelligence business and you've thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have our own town where the purge is a real thing? We'll let you have the purge. Just come to Nevada.
Did they not see the
Yeah.
Terminator franchise?
Dude,
Let's
it
let
is-
AI have the government. Okay, that sounds like
Well, they say it's a way to create jobs, but if the corporation collects the taxes, the state doesn't even benefit from having the jobs created.
are the jobs trying to help fight off the robots that are taking over?
Holy
Dude,
shit.
they just want like be like, you know, be like serious in your mind about this. They just want these people off of their like asses. Like
So there was what I
it's
was saying.
insane.
There's a company called Blockchains LLC, which apparently bought 67,000 acres east of Reno, and they're intending to build their town based on distributed ledger technology.
That sounds
Yeah,
like
It's that I'm familiar with that like company, that town, and what they're trying to do. They pitched basically that they would build a smart city, you know, with massive air quotes. If the Nevada government like subsidized them, and I've actually like sued one of their peer companies.
Oh, really?
Because I sued one of them like forever ago. Another organization I was working with because they basically like forced their way into some like government council meetings and stuff in this town in Illinois and insisted and like basically got the town to decide that they're going to replace all the water and light and electric meters on the houses with their digital smart meters. And they gave none of the people who like live in the town any say in the matter. So like everyone just got a letter saying like, hey, this, you know, don't be alarmed when this guy from the company, like Smart Meters, like LLC, shows up at your house. Like what he's doing is replacing your water meter and your electric meter with a digital one that will collect data about your, you know, usage and statistics and stuff. Like, okay, bye. Like, and I mean, it sounds like kind of the same thing, but
eventually
like,
in that town, you'll be like, yeah, it sounded like a good idea, but you know, now they only give me 90 squares of toilet paper for 90 days. I can only use a square a day of toilet paper, but it's innovation.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like it's pretty like rough out there. But the funniest thing about that innovation zones thing is like, you know, you have so many of these like assholes who are like, hey, we're not going to be communist China. Never. Like that is literally like the deal in China, like for most people. Like they live in, you know, some giant like manufacturing town, right? Like they walk out of their house, which is government provided, to go into a factory, which is like government run, to do a job that's like government compensated. And then they go back to their government apartment, like right nearby. it's not very different. Like we've reached or are reaching the same point, like the entire Chinese economy like has already reached through the weird like machinery of capitalism. It's pretty wild.
We've had this already. Like they were like there are cities that are built on like Ford or GM where like the entire city basically runs, and basically GM controls that town, and GM's like, fuck it, we're leaving, and everyone in the town's like, how are we gonna eat again? And GM's like, then don't eat. Who cares? We're out.
That's literally the start of the movie Nomadland, which I watched, which is a very slow kind of like contemplative movie. I recommend it, but yeah, it was U.S. Gypsum, which owned, basically ran and was responsible for a town in the Southwest. And when they decided to close it, like basically that was it. The town shut down, and the woman whose husband died is sort of like left alone as kind of a hobo and decides to sort of live that way. So we've had it, but we've never had it like sanctified with like actual legal, recognition. And this sort of idea, Amazon or like some big ass company will be next, and they'll do it in a big way. And it'll just scale up until all these, that's why I think we're headed towards, like, what is it called? Techno feudalism. That's kind of where we're headed. Like more jobs being like, sort of like gigified and shit. I mean, even my own job, like I was recently told, and I mean, I'm pretty relatively senior, but I was recently told, hey, when, we want to know when you get back, like things are going to be different for all of us. So like, are you okay, with a hybrid schedule? I'm like, what's that? And they're like, well, you would work from home like 2 to 3 days a week. And I'm like, so you're telling me I wouldn't have access to like an actual office, like 5 days a week? And like, yeah, they're basically like, yeah, we're going to need you to work from home like 2-3 days a week. Now, I was already doing that before the pandemic. It was just called working from home, right? Like I wasn't forced to do that. Like I would just say I could be more effective here. But for them to, like force people, and I mean, I get how like ridiculous of a first world sort of problem this is, but it speaks to a bigger issue. Like corporations are asserting more power over like the people who work for them, their governments, like the land, like everything. You don't have to be like a genius or prophet to see where all this shit's headed. It's kind of creepy in a way that like all the cultural bullshit about like MAGA and stuff is irrelevant. Like that's like, who gives a shit? Like, oh yeah, Trump bad, Trump good, Orange man great, Orange man bad. Like, who gives a shit about like 99% of that when, right under us, like corporations are literally taking control of like everything.
Isn't the goal to like make it so Idiocracy it just looks like a documentary?
Oh, dude, we passed that like so long ago.
So anyway, so if you're listening to the show, you're probably fucked. Anyway.
Yeah, if you're alive to hear this. Do you guys ever play the game Plague? Like it's like an iOS game.
Yes.
I'm playing it in reality right now. Go on.
So I read something recently. I got to verify this, Jay, but you might remember. But like basically, they have the different difficulty settings, and like the easy setting, which is like the low setting. Like they describe it. Like hard is like, oh, the virus is fought by like the most distinguished scientists. Like medium is like some good scientists, but like people make some mistakes and it's whatever. And then easy is like nobody wears masks and like everyone hugs each other. Like, and it's literally what we are. Like, this is us. Like, this is us now. Like, we are, Plague on the easy setting for the virus.
Yep. Yeah, it was like, Mark, it was like a phone game where you like simulate you're a plague and you try and like take over the world and infect everybody.
Kill everyone. Yeah.
And I was playing that like 2 years ago, and then it got really not fun as soon as COVID hit. I'm like, oh, this game's actually terrible and I hate it.
Oh my God.
It was a really fun game. I played it years ago too, Jay. I love it. It was so fun, but I can't even imagine like it would make me sick to my stomach to even like try it now.
Yeah. I definitely deleted it from my phone.
I remember reading early on in this about like the pandemic happened. So you think about the Spanish flu. So like, I don't know if you guys have like sat down, like just started reading about it, but I was reading about it and they're saying how like, why so many deaths. And one of the reasons they pointed out were people just stopped wanting to like, at some point people stopped caring and stopped wanting to wear masks and they stopped wanting to like take precautions because they were just tired of it all. And I was like, how do you get tired of it all during And then then now I'm just like, oh, everyone got tired of it pretty fast here also.
Yeah.
Same shit happens again.
The 1917 influenza is super duper interesting, and you're right. Like all of what you said was like accurate, but there was so many other weird things. Like the predominant theory of viral like spread at the time was the miasma theory, which means like there'd be areas where like the air itself was bad. Like you would want to go to that area that's like bad air. They would like pull a sick person out of that area because like, okay, you're out of the bad air area, but they'd be like very close to the sick person, like not knowing that like it's not the air that's bad, it's the person who's like emanating bad things. So like even the people who are quote unquote scientifically like up to date, believed like that was how this stuff spread. There were anti-maskers then as well who tied it to like freedom. There was like an anti-mask brigade. But the nice thing about that particular disease, which unfortunately this one lacks, is it was very effective. Like it killed I think it had a very high mortality. So like the anti-mask brigade, like probabilistically the odds were against them. Like, if you're there, the anti-maskers kind of disappeared pretty quickly, like one other interesting fact, which is very scary for us, is in one of the only like longitudinal studies of people who were either born during the influenza or born in I think 2 or 3 years after, they found that like there were all sorts of just like kind of weird things, unhealthy things about people who were like born in and after the Spanish flu. They were like on average a few inches shorter. They were prone to like early bone cancer, like early heart disease, like diabetes, like depression, which suggested that even the people who survived it and like went on to have children, they were somehow like genetically like weakened. So, we don't know shit about the coronavirus, obviously, but we already know there are people who have been like already identified as long haulers. Like there's hundreds of thousands of people literally living in this country who have like coronavirus long haul syndrome, like the same effects of being sick with it after it's out of their system. Like, and that's going to be a pre-existing condition. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff is really just, it's even with all we learned about the 1917 flu, we're like still making the same insane mistakes.
I was thinking next episode, instead of being really funny the whole time, we should just pick like really sad, depressing topics.
That's a good idea.
By the way,
hey, dude, we did a lot of bidets. We had like 25 minutes.
We had 25 minutes on shit. So
that at least entitles like a comparable number of depressing periods. So
is there any, just to end the show for 5 minutes? Is there anything funny we can talk about before the show just begins?
Weirdest prediction for 2021. Like what's the
weirdest things that will happen in 2021? We will find out that somehow by spraying cleaning everything, we actually were making things worse by cleaning everything. Like we were like, they're like, oh, if you were wiping everything down, you were your system wasn't taking on all the germs, and your system was weakened for coronavirus.
There are people who believe that.
Oh gosh,
I've seen that. Yeah, you guys are getting sick because you're just staying in, protecting yourself the whole time. So now your immune system's weak.
Yeah, if you live in a sterile environment, that's what COVID likes.
Disease thrives in sterility.
That's why I go outside and I lick a homeless person. Listen, it may not feel good when I'm doing it, but it's like a bidet for the soul.
I just follow dogs around.
Immune system. Strong immune system.
Other predictions for 2021, guys. Anything, guys? You are top 5 that we just created just now.
I think there will be like something like truly out of like left field, astonishing, like scientific, discovery or breakthrough, like something like really that will
like quantum.
Be like, oh, yeah, like quantum teleportation. Probably not that, but like a true artificial intelligence, or some like observation of like cellular life on an asteroid, or like confirmation of, some sort of alien structures, like something really profound that changes like, the way humans think about humanity. It feels like the right year for that for some reason to me. Something weird.
Do you want to just to find out that like aliens have been here, like proof, just to shut the people up who keep going on about it? Fine, you're right. Now shut the hell up already about this. They're just like, do you know anyone who believes in aliens?
Believes in them visiting the
Yeah,
the world.
I know someone who's like obsessed with it. And you're like, I wish the aliens would just be here so you could be right about this, so we can move on.
No, I don't know. That's an excellent question. I don't think I know anyone who believes that aliens from a different like planet have visited Earth. I don't think so. I mean, I like, it's a nice thing to like think about, but you'd think that if it was like even remotely common occurrence, there would be overwhelming evidence. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And there's like only trash evidence. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I think it very well may have happened, but maybe like a million years ago, right? Like, or 10 million, whatever.
There's no way to disprove something that like we have no proof. Like of course it could have happened. Who the hell knows?
Right.
I also predict there'll be riots when it's discovered that Lady Gaga has been lip syncing this whole time. The riots will be worse than the George Floyd riots.
That'll be more shocking than Milli Vanilli.
Yes,
they should raid the Capitol. I think that we should start a tradition of raiding the Capitol, like anytime anything at all bad happens. Like, don't have a riot in your hometown, right? Like, don't riot there. Like, a cop shoots someone in like Denver, go to DC, attack the Capitol. Like, your coffee was too hot, go to DC, attack the Capitol. Like, it doesn't matter. Just like make it an American tradition. Like,
are you telling me TBS is not renewing Conan O'Brien's contract? We're gonna fucking storm the Capitol.
Get your friends, storm the Capitol. Get a Telegram channel going. Like, make it a thing.
But the leader has to be a different time period. We already did Vikings, so maybe we could do like a pirate next time.
Yeah, pirate would be good.
Just change
but
it
it's
up.
Also like it's kind of like, I was gonna say like even clowns, but that's a little too jokery.
Yeah, that's too on point.
How about like dressed as like owls? Or those dinosaur costumes, those T-Rex costumes, those like hilarious T-Rex things.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Dude, imagine like 10,000 of those like running at the Capitol.
I'm in. I like it.
Probably getting gunned down, but like it looked like the weirdest, like, remember that video game Turok, like weird Turok side quest or something.
Funniest
you guys didn't watch
ever.
Jay, you watched the Super Bowl?
I watched the first 3 quarters and I realized why I don't watch football. The games are like 7 hours long.
I forgot that shit. The halftime show, the backup dancers for the weekend. First of all, how the fuck is the weekend doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl? Was literally they're like, we have 1,000 names to call, and this was like, I guess the weekend. It's you're the first one we called. We did call 999 names before you. But anyway, the backup dancers had the weirdest fucking costume. That's why I want people to storm the Capitol and wearing those masks.
Dude, start a Telegram channel. Yo, I heard, I didn't see the Super Bowl, but like I heard they like at the halftime show they were like, and we have here like nurse, first responder, blah blah blah. Let's give her a round of applause and thank her for her effort in fighting this awful pandemic. Like, if that's true, like it has to be the most American thing to tribute like the first responders at like a super spreader event as it was happening.
Exactly.
Like like how it's insane, man. Like, wow.
Yeah. The fact that like we held like we're like we have to fight the virus unless there's something else we want to do. We want to have Thanksgiving, fuck the virus. We want to have New Year's, fuck the virus. Hey, if we just want to watch football with our friends, fuck the virus.
Look, Corona is also watching to see if Tom Brady wins again.
Our government is getting on the TV being like, could you just fucking watch the Super Bowl by yourself? People are dying in the streets. I don't know. It's not really, I mean, like, what am I going to watch? It's going to be boring watching by myself. I want to get Corona at my friend's house and whatever.
Well, that's the thing. If people didn't have Super Bowl parties, everyone would realize how boring football actually is.
Oh, God.
And it would be bad.
Yes. It is so boring, man. Yeah, and I say that as someone who's in a fantasy football league, like year after year, and I get like invested in it. I've won it a couple of times, but like that's more about kicking my colleagues' asses than it is about like watching the game. But I'll tune into the game to see how I do. Um, but yeah, attributing the first responder at a super spreader event, like you know what? I should have known this country was completely stupid and kind of retarded, like from an early age when I realized that each year, our head of state pardons an actual turkey.
Yeah.
Like each year, every year, the president pardons a turkey.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of yokels, man. We're just like a bunch of doofus, idiots. Like it's so crazy.
If I was
We were
president, I'd
talking
be like, do I really have to do this? Like, shouldn't I be like negotiating peace treaties or something?
I know.
Well,
I
it was
know.
it was like the inauguration. You're like at the time of like this pandemic, and they're like, well, he's got to have a whole like big thing for the inauguration. You're like, how about you just in private, like he gets sworn in, it's like 3 people on there, that's it. Why do you have to have a whole big event for the inauguration? I mean, who cares to talk about the better show?
Did you see? Oh my God! Did you see the op-ed? It was in the San Francisco Chronicle about. It was like some lady wrote it, and it was like Bernie Sanders at the inauguration was white male privilege.
Wait, what? Was it again?
Bernie Sanders at the inauguration was an act of white male privilege.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. What they said because he didn't dress up, like he wore
Yes.
like a big whatever
He wore
coat,
parka and gloves.
and that was white privilege because anyone if a person of color would have had to wear a tuxedo because they were probably the waiter.
Dude. And it goes to what you're saying, like, why is there all this, like, why are millions of dollars being wasted on this, like, horse shit? Like, bro, take your fucking chair, sit in it, let them juice you up with, like, speed or whatever the hell, keeps your dancing skeleton ass operational for, the 4 hours of the day you have to be in front of the camera and, like, move on. Like, we don't need this insane pomp and freaking circumstance for this shitty event during a, like, get over yourself. You've been on this stage before, like, chill.
Wouldn't it be great if Biden was just like, hey, for the inauguration, we're going to do it for 5 minutes. I'm going to get president. And you know what I'm going to do after that? We'll get to fucking work because shit's bad. You'd be like, greatest president ever. Like 50% of America would be like, greatest president ever. And the other 50% be like, oh my God, he cursed. How dare you? That's so disrespectful. You want to get to work. He should not work on Inauguration Day. Things can wait.
If he cursed, there would be online petitions. They'd be talking about impeaching him.
Well, there's already a motion there's a member of Congress who's filed in papers to impeach him already.
Marjorie
right?
Taylor Greene, that insane whack job, lunatic, QAnon, crazy ass bitch from Georgia, the most Republican district in America. So, which is a great bellwether for where the heart and soul of the Republican death cult is.
Here's the thing: the Tea Party. We thought they were fucking insane, and then one day I was like, "Where's the Tea Party?" And you know what happened? The Tea Party. They didn't go away. The Republican Party got absorbed by the Tea Party. Yep. It was a different merger than you expected. And you know what? In a couple of years, they're going to be like, literally every candidate running from the Republican side believes there's a death cult of pedophiles that are running this earth, right? The QAnon is going to absorb the Republican Party.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Get worse from here.
That's the difference between the two parties. The Republican Party, for better or worse, is actually weirdly more democratic. They allow whatever shit inside of them, to actually emerge and take control. The Democrat Party is just sort of the rule follower party who insists on always, no matter what, being these 6 things. We're pro-business, we're tough on crime. We think America has a strong place in the just the same 5 dumb shit. While the other party keeps moving to the right until they could literally, they could start dressing as old English barristers and show up to Congress that way and declare themselves as Tories for the king. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, I guess that's Lindsey Graham finally dressed as he would like to dress.
So prediction for 2021, Peter's sister and her husband will buy an apartment in Westchester near a certain co-host of the show. And Jay will continually be like, her kids won't fucking go to sleep. I'm trying to sleep, and I hear her kids at 3 in the goddamn morning. I cannot believe we share a wall with this goddamn family. And you just see how they spend their money.
All right. I think we got to wrap this up.
Yeah. Sounds good. Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure as
By the way,
always.
this whole thing Jay hasn't started the show yet, just to let you know. So we're going to start soon.
This has been an organic opening. Welcome to episode 352. I still don't have the goodbye song, so it's just going to be an awkward.
You're so horrible. You don't have the goodbye song. Come on, Jay.
I'm working on it. All right. The Brink of Sanity at gmail.com. brinkofsanityshow.com is the website. And Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. We do all our shows live, so you can go to twitch.tv/crumpledbacon. That's with a crumpled with a P.
And we will be doing the Knicks soon to give our view on the Derrick Rose trade.
Yes. So
spoiler alert, Jay loves it.
And we're going to be playing until dawn, and Mark's going to get everybody killed.
I hopefully in chapter 5.
All right.